I'm Marissa. I'm in my barn here with all my cows today. Gonna show a couple of them to you so you guys can see some real life cows here. I'll actually show you one of my old show heifers here. She's one of my favorite cows. She's quite the sweetheart. I'll show you right here. Her name is Rosie, and she's having a little bit of hay right now. She's having a snack. My dad's just feeding our cows, so I may be a little loud here. But yeah, this is Rosie. She is about 4 years old. And she's had about 3 babies so far. So she is a really good mom. And she loves being here. Let's put it that way. She's quite spoiled. I'll show you another one of my show heifers that she's a bit older too. This is Nova. She likes love too, but she's hungry right now. So she's gonna go for a walk over there. But that's Nova. She's the same age as Rosie. She's about 4 as well. And they were actually my show heifers the same year I showed in 4-H. So I'm gonna take you for a little tour over here. I'll flip my camera so you guys can see. Over here, we have all of our babies. All of our baby calves are over here. Some of them are a little skittish. They're kind of scared. But they're also very, very, very friendly. Very friendly calves. Show you some more over here. So if you look at our calves, they have blue and pink tags. So the blue tags on them mean they're boys, and the pink tags mean they're girls. And it looks like I only have a lot of boys up here. She's a girl right there in the middle there. She's a little girl. But yeah, we got lots and lots of cows in here. We have about, I want to say there's about 70 calves here in this pen. And they just got separated from their moms. And as you can see, my dad's feeding them hay right now. We'll show you how that works. He's gonna slice the bale in half with the knife and it'll drop into their feeder there. And as you can see, they're waiting for it. They're really excited. Sometimes it can be a little tough here for it to cut through. It's a little wet, so. Slowly he's cutting it. So I'm from Brigden, Ontario. So that is 15 minutes from Sarnia. So I'm down south here. And my family's been in this part of Ontario their whole lives. I'm the 8th generation of my family. There the bale goes. And I farm here with my dad, who's on the tractor, and my uncle and my brother and my grandpa and my 2 cousins. So all together here at this barn, we actually have 2 barns. There is about, I want to say, probably 80 cows here. And then we also have another barn down the road, and there's the rest of the barns over there, and we have about 180 in total cows. So we have a lot, and then we also have a feedlot as well. So our feedlot, let me switch my camera here for you guys so you can see me. So our feedlot is just next door, and we have all of our calves there from our previous years. And there's about last year's calves are there and a little bit of the year before's. And then all these guys will head there shortly when they move on and they get all situated here. And yeah. So in the winter, our calves and our cows will all come in the barn here. My dad just opened the gate for me to go with the calves. So in the winter months, our cows will stay here in the barn, and they get this wonderful, beautiful shelter here behind me to go in as well. And they actually all just came in from grass for the summer about a week ago. So they all are in now for the winter, and they're getting used to the barn again, and they're really excited to be back in because they know they get silage, and they all love silage so much. Silage is it's corn fermented in our big silos over there. So both of those silos there are full of corn and hay. And it'll come out the chutes, and they'll fill up that big manger there where they all get to eat together. And it's almost feeding time here, so but we won't get to see that today because they get kind of loud. So a feedlot is that's where we send all our cows over to get bigger, and when they go over there, they're about teenagers. So they're about a teenager age, and they all go over there and they eat the special feed over there so they can all go to be produced into beef. So they'll be able to fill all your tummies, and they'll get to go on the shelves of the grocery stores. But all these calves here, they're way too little to go over to the feedlot yet. So there's really no difference between brown and black cows. So you can see here we have a lot of black cows. That is really just their breed. So there's multiple breeds of cows. And here we are producing black Angus and black Simmentals. And sometimes you'll get the odd red cow, which is brown. And we get mostly black. That's just in their genetics here. And our cows here, I'll show you here what they're eating. All of our calves here are eating this creep feed. They really like this stuff. It's in pellets, and they all crowd around that big feeder in the back there, and that's where they eat all that creep feed. That creep feed is one of their favorite thing to eat here. It makes them grow big and strong too. So yeah, I got a bunch of calves here with me. So when cows are gonna sleep, it's actually kind of cute how they sleep. They will all lay down. Sometimes they get really close to each other in the winter so they can keep warm. And when they sleep, you'll notice they wrap their heads into themselves. So they're like giving themselves a big hug, and they're in a little ball. It's really cute. I wish I had some sleeping, but I really don't. He's laying down there, but he's not sleeping. He's just laying down. He's having a rest. But yeah, cows sleep often too. They sleep all the time. If they're not eating, they're sleeping. So, and all these cows over there are eating now, so they're not sleeping. So when I talk about breeds of cows, it's more of just the type of cow they are. So, see if I can find some different breeds here for you. So this one right behind me there, walking away, she's walking away from me. She's a Simmental. So breed, basically in terms, is more just what type. So breeds have different benefits for us. So like one breed can be a really good mother, and then another breed may not be as great of a mother as that other breed. And then some breeds produce more milk than others. And it's really just genetic wise, right? When we talk about genetics, you're all a little young for genetics, so I may not know if you guys understand all that. So our cows here are about, I gotta think about this one because they all weigh different weights. I'm walking through the meeting here. They're about 1,200 pounds. So that's really big and really, really heavy. So when our cows are going to our feedlot and they leave the feedlot, they are about 1,200 pounds. These ones, I want to say they're probably about 1,400 pounds because they are a lot older and a lot bigger, as you can see. I want to see if I can find you one of my other favorite cows here. I got one right here for you guys. That's Daisy. Daisy is my cousin's show heifer last year. She's kind of skittish. She's kind of scared. But she's just a young cow, so she's only a year old. She'll be 2 next March, I think. She's only going to be 2 years old. And all these other cows, they range in age. So we have them from 2 to I think about 14 in here. I think 14 is the oldest we have out here. But as you can see, they're all very, very hungry. They love food. Cows actually do have more than one stomach. So cows actually have, people say they have 4 stomachs. There's 4 different compartments in them that processes the food. It's not the same as you and mine's. Very, very different than us. As you can see, they're all very, very hungry, and she's following me around here. She's a very sweet girl. She doesn't have a name, but she does have a number. It's 1515. So she was born in 2015. That makes her 6 years old. So she's getting old, but she's still a really good mom. Show you them all eating here. They have no care in the world. They are so happy to have their feed. This one right here, she's one of our older cows. She's about, I want to say she's one of the older ones, so she's probably 13 years old. And she is a Simmental. You can tell by her face coloring because she's got white on her face. That's just the way she came out. Oh, how much hay do we need in a month? That's a very good question. So these cows will usually get fed 5 bales a day. So that is a lot of hay. So if you times 5 bales by how many days in the month, you'll get your amount there. My dad's yelling at me. That's 7,500 pounds of hay a day for these cows. That's a lot of hay. And no, they actually don't only eat hay. They eat silage as well. And silage is corn. So we harvested corn and put it in our big silos over there it was about a month ago. So it's in the silos over there. And we're going to feed them here shortly when we're done here. But it's going to come out there and it's going to go up that elevator, drop down, and it'll be spread into the entire manger there. And corn silage is very good for them. It makes them healthy and strong. And let me tell you, they love corn silage. So these cows, they do produce milk, but only when they've had a baby. So they're still producing milk right now, but we don't collect it all. We let their babies over here. They can drink all the milk they want when they're with their mothers, but now they're kind of in a dry period where they will dry up and not produce any milk so they can get ready for their next calf that they'll be having here in the spring. So March is basically when we're going to start calving here again. And calving means when we're going to have them all have their babies. And it's a very busy time here when they have their babies. We have about 5 calves a day here. So we'll have 5 babies here a day. So for us, we actually make our own hay. So we have, I'll show you our big field over there. We have multiple fields of hay. Do you see that big green field over there? That's a hay field. So we cut the hay about 3 times a year, 3 to 4 times a year, and we'll cut it, we'll let it dry down, and then we roll it up into these bales here, and then we feed them to the cows. Hay is one of their favorite foods, and they like consistency, so they like eating the same thing every day. So I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to eat the same thing every day, but they love it. So all of this manure here on the ground, and we got a big pile over there starting, we will use it as fertilizer, yes. So when we have our fields all cut and harvested here, and we will fertilize in the spring, we will spread all this manure that we're going to be collecting over the year, and we'll spread it on the field with our big manure spreader, and we'll work it into the ground with our cultivators, and it'll be able to give the ground more nutrients than you would usually get without manure on the ground. Let me switch my camera here again for you. So that's a good question. How many teeth do cows have? So honestly, I'm not 100% sure how many teeth they have, but cows only have bottom teeth. They don't have top teeth because their mouth on the top is so hard that they don't need teeth up there because their teeth will just grind against it. So they have a fair amount of teeth, but I got Rosie here. She's walking right by me. She knows right where the food is, and it's not where I am. She's very, very calm though. But yeah, I'll walk down by our manger and I'll show you guys the manger here. So with the cows, their color usually stays the same. So if she's born black, she'll stay black. She was born more of a gray, smoky color, she'll stay that color. When they do get older, they kind of get more gray hairs, which all of us will when we get old. So they will get more gray hair, but it's really minimal. And cows, I think they would know how old they are because they do start moving very, very slow. So I'll show you one of our pets over here. I'll show you her. That over there, that blonde cow, that's Sweetie Bear. My dad's going to go try to bring her up here. She is our pet. And as she's 18 years old, so she's actually one of the older ones we have here. And as you can see, if you can see her big knee there, she's got a really bad knee. And when she was a heifer here, so when she was a first-time mom, she broke her knee and we nursed her back to health. And now she is going to live here until her day is done. She is very, very calm and she is very much a pet here. She loves being scratched and petted and laid with on the ground. So she is one of the cuddly ones we have. But she's very old and she is slowed down in the past year. And she hasn't had a calf this year either. So she's getting to the final days, but she's still trucking along here. And our cows here, they will live till about 20-ish, around 20 years old, which is very long for a cow here to live. Some live longer. It really depends on the cow themselves. But yeah, cows, they can range in age. And here we have a bunch in different ages. So we have more of an older herd here. We don't have that many young cows, but every year we will keep about 15 to 20 girl calves over there, so heifer calves. A heifer is a girl cow, and a bull and a steer are boy cows. So we'll keep about 15 heifers a year to replace some of the other ones that got really old during the last year and may have passed away. So I show cows through 4-H, which is what I'm representing today. I'm one of the 4-H Ontario ambassadors for my second year running. And when you show cows, it's honestly, it's very difficult because you have to, so for me, every year I'll go pick out one of the heifer calves, so one of our girl calves. I'll pick one out, and I have one picked out this year. Her name is Jolene, but she is not here right now. She's at our other barn. And I'll pick out one of the calves, and you have to really create a good bond with the cow. So you have to work with her every day. You have to feed her, water her. You have to learn to halter break her. So when we're showing cows, we put them in a halter. I don't have one with me. And we use a show stick. And the stick just has it's just a long stick with a little hook on it. And you can scratch their bellies with it. And they love getting their bellies scratched. I'll tell you that. They love it. And so Rosie, Nova, and I got a few others out here are old show cows that I showed when I was younger. And Rosie's actually right here. She's got a mouthful of food. I wonder if she'll let me pet her. She's got food on her mind today, so she doesn't want anything to do with me. But yeah, so I showed Rosie when she was a year old. So now she's just living in the barn, having a great time. And yeah, so she loves her belly scratch down here. Not right now though, she wants food. But yeah, she's one of my old show heifers. She's one of my favorites. But yeah, so showing, it's kind of difficult, but it's really fun. I have a blast at showing cattle. I'll tell you that. So yeah, they're still eating. They love that. So for cattle, personally for us, we have a lot of cows, so we need a lot of land. So we have about, the farm I live on right now, so where this barn is here, it is 270 acres. So that's pretty big. It's really big. So for cows, it really just depends on how many cows you're going to have. So for us, we have about 180. That needs a lot of acres to produce the food they need and for them to have space to roam too, right? So we have a lot of pasture ground too. So we have a big pasture out there that they were just on, and we have another pasture way at the back of my farm. So they'll go out there for the summer months and get to graze the grass down, and they love being at grass. They love grass, and they get to exercise too. Everyone needs exercise, right? So when they're at grass, that's great exercise for them. But yeah, it really depends on how many cows you want to have. If you just have one cow, then you don't need as much space as you would need if you had 200, right? So my cows personally don't have horns. There are a few that may have them, but when we are breeding our cows, we bred for the genetics that is polled. So when the cows are polled, they don't have any horns. They just have the top of their head there. I want to see if I can find one of my old show heifers and I can show you. But yeah, we don't like cows with horns because it's just, some of them can grow very long and they can actually end up hurting the animal because sometimes the horns will curl around their head and it'll start digging into their head. So we don't want that to happen to our cows because it can be very dangerous and it can end up hurting them in the long run too. So we try not to have cows with horns. We do have a few, but we make sure they're constantly trimmed down like a toenail, right? So I wanted to see if I can find one with a pole so I could show you, but I can't find any of my heifers today. So when a cow's going to give birth, it's not as tricky as you'd think. So when a cow's going to give birth, we usually walk through our cows every night when they're getting close to calving season. And you can tell because their udder starts to firm up more. So their udder will get really, really big. And that's where the milk is produced. So their udder will get really big and it'll start to firm up. And then their attitude will change as well. So they will start digging on the ground, laying down a lot, standing up. They're not very comfortable. You can really tell when they're going to have a calf. So, and then also when they're going to give a calf also, their tails will start to stick out more. So their tails will stick out, and that's another sign you can tell. It's actually not as hard as you think it is to tell when a cow is going to have a calf, but there is an art to it, and it is actually quite fascinating to see how fast a cow can change when she's not going to have a calf and when she is. It can happen in an hour, and it's very, very fascinating to see. So I love cows, right? So I've lived on this farm my entire life. So I am 21 years old, and ever since I can remember, I've been in the barn, and I have been out with my cows all since. So I think I enjoy creating a bond with these cows myself. There's a bunch out here that I have a great bond with, and it's really going to be heartbreaking when they get really old and they pass away, because I love these cows, right? So it's like losing a family member. And so yeah, I just love cows. Cows have been a part of my life forever. So yeah, I love it here. I love living on the farm. So, and we have a bunch of younger cows over here too. So all these babies behind me, let me get them in, with their moms still, they were born on pasture. So they were a little late with calving. So some of them calved out this summer, actually, a little late, and they had their babies at pasture. So these babies are a little bit more scared of me, so they don't really want to come near me, and they're much, much smaller. So here, I'll show you one of the little ones. See how little that little white one is? She is so small compared to our other ones. Yeah, she's just a little girl. And we have one of the moms here. She wants to walk away. They're hungry too, so my dad's just thinking them a bail here soon too. But yeah, we have a bunch of cows in here that have all had babies. Yeah, and right there, that is Sweetie Bear. That's our old cow with the hurt knee, and she's old. She's our old girl. So, let me flip my camera here. If a cow gets sick, we have a bunch of medications on hand that we could give them to help them out. But we also have our vet. So our veterinarian, he's very good to us. He always, when we have a really bad problem, he'll come out and he'll look at the cow, and we can give them medicine. And he carries a lot of medicine on hand, and we have a lot of medicine here for them that we'll give them to make them feel better. And you can tell when a cow's sick because they start acting really different. They got really droopy ears. They're really slow. They don't want to eat. You can tell when they're sick. And it's pretty sad too. I think my dad's opening the gate over here. I can go see Sweetie Bear for you guys. So cows actually don't really get sunburnt. They have their skin and their hair will provide them with enough protection from the sun that it won't let them get sunburnt at all. Now, in the odd case, if a cow has hair loss, they could get sunburnt, and you put special lotion on them if they do. So here, I'll show you Sweetie Bear. This is Sweetie Bear. She's one of our favorite cows here. She loves all of us. She's trying to give me kisses here. Yeah, she's very friendly. She's looking at you guys. She's saying hello. Yeah, Sweetie Bear is very old, and she's a pet here. But yeah, thank you guys for having me here. I had a blast showing you guys around my farm. And I'll show you Sweetie Bear. We'll say goodbye to you guys with each other. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I am so happy I could do this tour with you guys. But yeah, hope you guys have a great day and you learned a bit about beef farming.